Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian Scheidecker, and in today's video I would like to discuss personal power. In a world where we are all told that we are worthless, that we are all told that we are nothing, that we are treated like we're nothing, that could be the farthest thing from the truth. That is the farthest thing from the truth. When you look up in the night sky at night, and you see just all of those beautiful shining gems in the sky that we call stars, we must realize that we are indeed the same things. What a star is made out of is exactly what we are made of as well. So if a star can shine so bright in the sky and amaze so many people, what is stopping us from doing the same thing? What is stopping us from being our own stars? A lot of people today, think that they are powerless, think that no matter what they do, they can't make a change. No matter what they say, it's not gonna matter. They feel worthless. Like so many people on earth right now, we feel powerless. And that is just so not true. Everybody on earth is their own. There's like 8 billion people on earth, right? 8 billion people on earth, 8 billion realities. Everybody is kind of experiencing their own thing and doing their own thing, and everybody lives in their own world. Just because you have a different opinion or view from me doesn't mean that you're wrong, or doesn't mean that I'm wrong. What if there's just 2 right answers? What if there's just 8 billion right answers? And so I'm here to tell you that you are so much more than you ever could imagine. You are so much more infinite and so much more abundant and so much more prosperous than you could ever know. And so this video about personal power, it's to remind everybody that you already have everything that you need. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, whether you want to pursue a career, or you want to acquire a new skill, or you want to, have an adventure. Whatever it is that you want to do in this life, you have everything that you need right now. I'll give you a good example. Someone who's wanting to become a teacher, right? Are they not a teacher unless they have a degree? Like, does a piece of paper with a signature on it officially say that they're a teacher? Like, were they not a teacher before that? Realize that you already are everything that you need. Some of the best musicians that I hear in today's world, like some of the best, like most pure music that I hear, are just from people. They're not going to school for music. They don't have like an enormous record deal making millions of money. Like some people do have record deals, but like what, that doesn't say anything about their music. It's the actual music. And realize, like, there are just so many labels that we create, so many titles and names in this world that we apply to things, so that way we can feel a sense of like identity with them, right? And if you don't have that identity, then you're not actually that, right? And that's just not true. And I say this because I feel like so many people, myself included, like sometimes you feel a little bit defeated, right? Because it's like you feel so far away from where you want to go. But realize that you're exactly where you need to be right now. Like your entire reality around you, the quote unquote good and the bad, right? The things that we call good and bad, it's all there for a reason. This is all just to learn. This is all just a big school, right? And we're here to learn that we are the creators of our own reality. We are the masters of our own destiny. And the idea of having everything that you need right now, it's because like the idea of having everything right now, when you really think about it, like, and you really kind of embrace that, there's no more fear in that. There's no more fear, because I feel like we're also like worried and stuff about, oh, I need, like I've said this before, like I need the next thing in order to feel peace. But if you realize that you have everything that you need right now, fear is just an illusion. I've realized this, that fear is just an illusion. Like everything that I was scared of, it was just a made up scenario in my mind. It didn't even exist. It wasn't even true. So many of the things that we tell ourselves are not true. Pay attention to the way that you speak to yourself, because I swear, like 90% of the stressful situations that I get caught up in are created by myself. I make them up in my mind somehow, and I convince myself that they're real, when in reality they're not, and everything's actually perfectly fine and everything's great. And I've like just recently realized this, that like, wow, like fear really is an illusion. And when I process that, I'm like, wow, like I feel so much strength, like so much power. And yeah, just like this message, it's about, I'm trying to tell everybody that I have seen past the curtain. I have seen past the curtain, and I realize that fear is nothing. It doesn't exist. It only exists in our minds because we tell ourselves it exists. But when you look around, really, it doesn't exist. I'm outside right now and it's so beautiful. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's just sunny. It's warm. The birds, the bees, the leaves, and the trees are all out. And it feels great. Like fear is an illusion. Fear is an illusion. And the idea of personal power, like, realize that, you are the only one in control of your own life. And by that I mean, like, nobody knows you best except yourself. Even like, a companion or a parent or your best friend or anybody like that. They might know you really well, but the person who knows you best is yourself. And realize that when you take time to just kind of slow down and analyze things, like, you will be able to guide yourself. I know that sounds kind of hard because, like, we sit down for a second and it's like we can't control our thoughts. Like, our minds are just racing. It's like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do right now? I'm so, overwhelmed and stressed. Like, I have no idea what my next move is. But when you quiet your mind, when you sit and when you breathe, and when you just observe things, and when you finally come to a place of calmness, you'll realize that you actually do have the wisdom to make the next choice for yourself. Your higher self, right? Your higher self knows you so well, and you'll point yourself in the right direction that you need to go. That's so true. The reason why we feel like we don't have a grip on our lives sometimes, and the reason why we feel confused sometimes and like lost, is because our minds are not quiet enough. There's too much going on. We absorb too much outside energy, and so we're overflowed with that, when really we need to release that and absorb our own energy. Go spend time with yourself. Go treat yourself. Go enjoy yourself. Go love yourself. Like, be your own soulmate. You are your own soulmate. And so, yeah, like, when I feel like when we really take time to know ourselves, like, you eventually come to a place of understanding that you just have everything that you need to do what you need to do. And even on the bad days, like, even when things are feeling, just kind of sticky and stuff, it's like, that's just the balance of life. We can't be going, like, we can't be, productive every single day. It's a balance. So, like, you might be active in doing things today, and then tomorrow you might take a rest day to just kind of observe things and realize that that's perfectly normal, and that's actually probably the best idea for yourself, because you're giving yourself time to think and time to process things, and that's so important. And the whole idea of like or just the feeling, right? The feeling we get of just not feeling powerful, right? Realize that is projected on us, that those are not actually our own thoughts, right? So I'll give you a great example. You might feel self-conscious about, like, let's say you do painting or something creative, right? You might feel self-conscious about your final product, whether it's music or art or anything like that. You might feel self-conscious not because you actually think that way about yourself, but because you've been told that so many times. Like, how many times did you go to your teacher to hand something in, and they're like, oh, you need to change this and you need to change that, and then it'll be good? That makes you doubt yourself. Why isn't it not just good then? Like, why whoever said art ever had, like, some sort of rule book that we needed to follow along with? Like, why is it not just art right then and there? And so realize that all these doubts, like all of these things that we tell ourselves in our heads, like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I don't feel deserving enough, most of the times, like, these thoughts are not even our own. They did not originate in our head. They're just renting up room in our head. They're taking up space. Somebody else put them there. Maybe it was your parents, maybe it was your teachers, maybe it was a coworker, something like that. And when you take the time to really just kind of be in your own energy, like your own bubble, you will realize these things, and these thoughts will start to just dismiss themselves, really. They'll leave just as they came. And so realize that you have everything that you need right now, in this very moment. And the more gratitude and the more appreciation we have for ourselves, the more it's going to be so much more easier to just realize that. Like, when you had a bad day, let's say you had a bad day, right? And you just kind of feel like throwing in the towel. Instead of getting mad at yourself and upsetting yourself and kind of just self-sabotaging, just say, you know what? Can't change it. I tried my best. I gave it a good shot today, and I can't change that. And just accept that. And be proud of yourself that, hey, you know what? For whatever amount of effort that I made today, I'm so thankful that I did get out of bed to at least attempt it, instead of sitting around and thinking about it all day. I heard this really important piece of advice. It's infinitely more productive to do something for 20 minutes than it is to think about it for 20 hours. So, regardless of, of just any day-to-day situation, if you're just kind of beating yourself up because it might not have turned out exactly how you wanted it, or it didn't necessarily go your way, just be proud of yourself that you did put that time in, that you did attempt it, and that regardless of how many minutes it was, you were actively trying to problem solve in that amount of time. And yeah, just be your biggest cheerleader. We're our own biggest cheerleaders. Like, watch the way you talk to yourself in your head. Like, are you your own enemy? Are you your own bully? Or are you your own cheerleader? If we constantly just cheer ourselves on, and we constantly just congratulate ourselves for just getting up and trying day in and day out, like, your whole inner world will transform so much. Because as soon as I left my critic at the door, life has changed so much. It's so much more positive now. Leave your bully self behind, you know. Tell him no. Tell them no. When that thought pops up in your head, like, oh my God, you messed that up again, say, no, I didn't do that. Like, just have the utmost respect for yourself, and have just the utmost compassion for yourself, and really love yourself, because you are your own soulmate. And the more we do this, you know, little by little, the more power you'll feel like you'll have. And I promise you that if you're feeling like you are powerless right now, just think about these ideas and try to incorporate them in some sense, and I know that you'll start to feel like yourself more again. That's really all it is you only feel powerless because you forgot who you really are. We just forgot. Humans are a species with amnesia. We forget things. And so just take time out of your day, you know, a few minutes here and there, just to remind yourself, you know, how grateful you are for everything that you have. Even if your situation isn't ideal, find those small things to be grateful for and to appreciate yourself for. It's like, hey, like an example, it's like, hey, I might have lost my job today, but you know, at least I have a nice meal on the table for myself. At least I have like a bed to go lay down in that's warm and cozy. Like, just find, I know that everybody has something in their life to be grateful for. So the more we do this, the more personal power you will feel. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope that this message found you well. And I'll continue to get on and just keep speaking my mind, because I feel like this is really powerful, and we can really make a change here. Like, if everybody just started speaking about how they felt, like, so much can change. So thank you.